Have you ever looked up at the sky and seen something you just couldn't explain? A shadow so large, so impossibly fast, that your brain struggles to process it. For a group of ranchers in rural Texas back in 1977, this wasn't just a fleeting glance. It was a terrifying reality that haunted their days and nights. This is the story of the Texas Thunderbird, a creature of legend that seemingly flew right out of the history books and into the modern world. It all started quietly, as strange things often do. A calf missing here, a sheep gone there. At first the ranchers blamed the usual suspects. Coyotes, maybe a particularly bold mountain lion that had wandered down from the hills. Livestock going missing is a harsh reality of ranch life. But this was different. There were no tracks, no signs of a struggle, no blood. The animals were just gone, vanished into thin air. The disappearances started to pile up, and a quiet unease began to ripple through the close-knit community. Then came the sightings. It began with a few scattered reports. A massive shadow gliding over the fields, so big it blotted out the sun for a few unnerving seconds. Ranch hands working late would catch a glimpse of something enormous circling high above, silhouetted against the setting sun. They described it as a bird, but unlike any bird they'd ever seen. Its sheer size was staggering, with a wingspan that some claimed was as wide as a small airplane. People started talking, whispering in hushed tones at the local diner and the feed store. Was it a prank, a trick of the light, or was something ancient and powerful patrolling their skies? The situation escalated in the summer of 1977. The stories became more frequent, more detailed, and more frightening. One rancher, Joe Suarez, was checking his fences when he saw it. A colossal bird, dark and imposing, flying low over his property. He said its wingspan was at least 20 feet, and it cast a shadow that covered his entire pickup truck. He was frozen in place, a mix of awe and absolute terror washing over him. He wasn't the only one. His neighbor, Maria Flores, reported seeing two of these gigantic creatures just a few days later, perched on a distant cliff edge. Through her binoculars, she could make out their huge curved beaks and powerful legs. This wasn't just a local legend anymore. It was a developing crisis. The ranchers were losing valuable livestock, and a palpable fear had settled over the region. They turned to the one person they trusted to make sense of it all: the local sheriff. The sheriff, a practical, no-nonsense man named Earl Williams, was skeptical at first. He'd dealt with his fair share of tall tales and local gossip over the years, but as the reports flooded his office, each one more detailed and sincere than the last, he knew he had to investigate. These were his friends and neighbors, honest, hard-working people not prone to flights of fancy. Sheriff Williams opened an official case file. He documented every report, every missing animal, every eyewitness account. What he found was baffling. The disappearances were clean. It was as if the animals were being plucked right out of the pastures from above. This lined up perfectly with what the witnesses were claiming: a giant bird of prey. But no known bird in North America, or even the world, was capable of carrying off a full-grown calf. It just wasn't possible according to modern science. The investigation took a chilling turn when physical evidence finally emerged. A rancher found a set of deep gouges on the side of a water trough near where one of his lambs had vanished. He called the sheriff, who came out to take a look. The marks were unmistakable, claw marks, but their size and spacing were unlike anything he'd ever seen. They were too large for a mountain lion, too sharp for a bear. He made a plaster cast of the impressions. When he compared them to the claws of eagles and condors, the difference was astounding. The cast suggested a creature with talons the size of a man's hand. Around the same time, another piece of the puzzle fell into place. One of the witnesses, an amateur artist, had been so shaken by his sighting that he'd felt compelled to draw what he saw. He brought his sketch to the sheriff's office. When Sheriff Williams unrolled the paper, he was looking at a detailed drawing of a massive pterodactyl-like creature. It had a long, featherless head, a sharp, pointed beak, and enormous, leathery wings. The sheriff felt a shiver run down his spine. The drawing was almost identical to the descriptions of the Thunderbird from Native American legends, a mythological creature said to control the storms and carry men away in its talons. The legend of the Thunderbird is ancient, woven into the cultural fabric of many indigenous tribes across North America. It's often depicted as a supernatural being of immense power, a protector and a force of nature. But here, in 1977, the legend seemed to be taking on a terrifyingly real form. Could a creature thought to be extinct for millions of years, or perhaps a being of pure myth, actually exist? And if so, why was it suddenly appearing in this specific corner of Texas? This question baffled investigators and locals alike. Why this region? Why now? Some theories began to circulate. The area was remote and sparsely populated, with vast open spaces. It would be the perfect hunting ground for a large aerial predator, offering plenty of livestock with little human interference. The region also sits along a known migratory path for many bird species. Perhaps the Thunderbird, if it was a real biological animal, was following ancient instinctual migratory routes that had brought it back to its ancestral hunting grounds. Another, more unsettling theory suggested that environmental changes or human encroachment on wild habitats had forced the creature out of hiding. Maybe its traditional food sources had dwindled, forcing it to hunt closer to human settlements. It's a pattern we see with other predators like bears and cougars. When their territory shrinks, they are forced into conflict with humans. Could the same be true for a predator so large it defies belief? The sheriff's case file from 1977 officially remains unsolved. As the seasons changed, the sightings grew less frequent and eventually stopped altogether. The enormous shadows disappeared from the Texas sky, and the livestock stopped vanishing. It was as if the Thunderbird had simply moved on, leaving behind a community forever changed and a mystery that endures to this day. What were these ranchers seeing? Was it a surviving population of prehistoric pterosaurs, a misidentified known aircraft, or was it truly the legendary Thunderbird, a powerful spirit of the sky making its presence known? The evidence is compelling. Multiple credible eyewitnesses, unexplained livestock disappearances, and physical traces like the giant claw marks. The sketch drawn by the witness serves as a powerful link to centuries-old legends. The 1977 Texas Thunderbird case isn't just a spooky campfire story. It's a documented series of events that challenges our understanding of the natural world. It forces us to ask, what other mysteries might be hidden in the vast unexplored corners of our own planet, just waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves? The story serves as a potent reminder that there are still things in this world that science cannot easily explain. The ranchers of that small Texas community know what they saw. For them, the Thunderbird was no myth. It was a real living predator that stalked their land and haunted their skies. And to this day, some folks in that part of Texas still cast a wary eye toward the clouds, wondering if the great bird will ever return. What do you think? Was a prehistoric creature hunting in Texas, or is there another explanation? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into the unexplained, Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest unsolved mysteries. We'll see you in the next one.